Hello, everyone. How are you? Uh, so obviously, I didn't get the energy read up for the week because there was just so much going on in Equinox. I originally just was going to break it into pieces, but here we are. We're still in the energies of it, though. I don't know if you're feeling it. Um, yeah, there's definitely big shift happening. So we're going to talk a little bit about the equinox to start. And I'm going to read just some cards for the equinox itself. And then instead, because we're already halfway through the week, I'm just going to read the whole week and just see what we come up with. I have a feeling it'll be kind of tipping us off a little bit about some preparations we can do from now until Monday when the first eclipse happens, the lunar eclipse on the 25th in Libra. It's very interesting that it's also in Libra because we'll talk more about that on. I will do a separate show for that Monday, but it's the balancing act, and this I called this one balancing act because equinox is the same thing, right? It's the equal moment of day and night, light and dark, coming out of the dark, heading towards solstice, um, heading into the light. All of these are really important astrological features, if you want, whatever you want to call them, but it does matter. Um, and this eclipse is no like just random happening. Um, it's a big one. It is a big eclipse. It has a long pathway across the U.S. There's no mistake that it's happening across the U.S. as they're in their Pluto return and basically like shaking everything up. Um, like literally and figuratively. Usually we find during eclipses, and it's not just even about the eclipses, but we also find there's certain planetary alignments going on at that time too. And when those planets are in alignment, we usually see more like shaking of the earth. Um, like if you look, I think a few days ago, Iceland needed to declare a state of emergency because their volcano was popping off. So lots of changes on the physical for us, on the spiritual for us, on the mental for us, and then Earth itself going through big changes. So if you're feeling this and it's like too much, it's like this particular read, I'm just hoping we get some tools to help us get through. So I'm not struggling with it, but I can definitely feel the intensity of the energy. But it's so important. Oops. It's so important, right? So anyway, um, we'll get probably right in and just see what the cards are saying. But I just want to talk a little bit more too about a little bit of the preparation that we need to do for ourselves because I don't know if you notice, but there's a lot of distraction going on out there, like even more so. And we knew this was coming. We knew this was going to happen. So I'm not saying like don't, you know, I think we need to all be in it's again this balancing act. Make sure we're not too far down the rabbit hole that we're not seeing everything else going on. So the best place for us to be is in our hearts, in a nice balanced place where we're looking out and seeing everything, every possibility. Um, and we're and the person we're listening to the most about what's going on is ourselves. So it's still a lesson, the biggest lesson we came to graduate from, the school we're graduating from with Earth School, is we're getting our master's in discernment, like 100%. And like we are in test week, man. Like, so, best thing to do when you're in test week, if you haven't never done it, is buckle down and do the work. That's like, that's the easiest way to get through it, is to be truthful and be, authentic and be doing and looking at and observing and discerning and practicing and all of those things, not just like uh, distracting yourself and missing the point. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Um, it's interesting though, because I've said this before too, is it all has to come out, right? Like all that truth has to come out because also is what helps propel us into like through ascension. So yeah, just know that we're doing it. Um, Again, it's that nothing can stop what's coming. So it's better if you want to be prepared for it is like be at your best physical, mental, spiritual being that you can, right? Yeah. Okay, we're going to read the equinox first. I know we're a couple days past when it was. It's funny though because it like for us it came in on Tuesday kind of night sort of thing. In the UK it wasn't until the 20th, so not that far off. And it just this one was definitely really intense in its shift in its energy. So it's still happening. I figure we'll carry that energy through the whole rest of this week and up to the eclipse. So, okay, I'm just going to get one card here from a few different decks just about the eclipse itself. What the overall sort of message and meaning, what they're wanting us to look at here. That makes sense. Okay, so we got the Wheel of Fortune card. There is an infinite number of possibilities in my life. Yeah, this is the balancing act. You can go down, like, this is the thing. We can go down this one deep, dark rabbit hole and follow it all the way through. And it might be like thrilling and entertaining because, man, some of the stuff is like, it's almost not even like, it's comical. Like, it just is like, this can't be real. Actually, probably isn't. Is if you get that feeling, it probably isn't. Anyway, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors and fakery going on right now, but it's getting easier to see through. So, I don't blame you. It's totally interesting to look at. I even do it. So, but I also make sure I'm keeping my eye on the other things, right? So, like if you're going down the whatever the rabbit hole on we won't say any like specifics, but there's many things you could be looking at right now, from politics to movie stars to royalty. You could go down those, but make sure you're keeping your head up and looking around. That's the Wheel of Fortune. Is like make sure you know all the potentials of where this could go because they all factor in. So the other one, I'm just gonna like put a bee in your bonnet. No, that sounds mean. What is it when you anyway, I'm just going to plant a little seed here, is that make sure you're watching financial, make sure you're watching just all this like astronomy stuff, all the like everything, be paying attention to everything, be knowledgeable about everything, educate yourself on everything, because there's so many potentials and timelines we could go down right now. And if we're not paying attention, we might get ourselves dragged down a timeline that we were like, oh, no, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to look at it. And then we're way too involved in it. So the equinox, totally, I named this video completely right, this is us doing a balancing act, the yin and yang, the dark and the light. Don't stray too far into one side. Keep an open heart and an open mind. And then just, again, be the observer, let things play out as well, because they're going to, like, we don't stop that from happening. Don't give into fear over things. Just remain calm and watch the movie. And then you can make your decisions. It's not going to just sneak up on you and be like, oh, you made the wrong choice. Like, there isn't really going to be a wrong choice. It's going to be more like a hard choice versus an easy choice. All right. The equinox is also a portal. So I'm going to do 3 portal cards for this. Just kind of asking what's coming in with that energy. Yeah. Okay. So this is us. It's just part of our education. First one comes up is the halls of learning. Spirit guides, confirmation, great lessons. Nobody would argue with that right now. Yeah, I also want to like put it out there too that it's like it's kind of an amazing time because even my mind is getting blown about how things actually work. Like, and for me, it's been on a spiritual level in terms of getting downloads and information and then working with those, and in terms of like really kind of investigating, and like I've been getting hits on like really strange stuff that I didn't even know about. So I've started to learn about true history of the planet, and things I didn't know, even on the biblical level. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know this story or this place or this thing. So um, that's another like key piece of this equinox. If you're trying to like integrate and do things for yourself, is really be paying attention to the signs and symbols you're getting. I'm getting it a lot in words. So, like the other day, the word jubilation or jubilee came to me, and I was like, okay, I know what a financial jubilee is, which would be great if that happened for all of us. That solves a lot of problems on this planet, but we'll see. But the jubilee itself, so I took that into just doing some investigation, and it's actually like the moment of um, after ascension, uh, the great celebration, right? The return of the energy of the Christ consciousness. So, I'm just learning things that I'd never heard of in my life, and places on earth that I'd never heard of before until this moment. So, right, I've been here 50 years and I'm still learning stuff. So, this equinox is about, but I feel like this is like we're really close to our graduation piece, right? So graduation generally happens in like May, June kind of thing. So yeah, I know that's a couple months out, but the way the months are going so fast, it's like we're in like this like we're getting our testing done right now so that we can graduate in a couple months. That's kind of fun. Okay, we also got Shambhala initiations. Initiations are also just tests, right? Usually. Retreat to recharge, trusting in the process. Dharma. Okay. I love this one because um, it's kind of what I'm saying is like, don't work. I mean, I know we're being tested. We're not really being tested. It's just like, but it's like, do the work, retreat, meaning just like stand back, right? Hold back. Don't go blazing in and try to fix everything and change everything. It's not going to do any good at this point. It's better just that we trust the universe, trust the process that's happening, observe the process that's happening, but not just observe, but be an active part of it, and don't try to like micromanage it, right? Dharma is the easiest way to say it is it's what's meant to happen. It's happening. Just let it unfold. That's the big thing I think that's like right now is like it also goes along with the whole, for us, the spring, we're in spring equinox. But it's like you can't force something to grow. It has to slowly sprout out of the ground and then grow. There's no forcing it. There's no timing for it. It does it in its own process, and it is a magical, miraculous process. So just nurture it and let it unfold. Last one for this equinox is Akashic records. We're still, clearing old stories, releasing past lives, and freedom. This is what's going on the planet right now. And the Akashic records are really interesting. That's a nice one to look into if you've never heard of that. Every one of us should be doing research on different things and learning new things that we didn't know before. The planet is just releasing all this old lower energy. We're watching it happen in real time. It's not always pleasant. But sorry, I was going to say about the Akashic records. Again, I'm just going to Cole's note like some of these terms, and you can go do your research. But the Akashic records is like, it's the library of everything that's already happened throughout time, even what's happening in the future, for our future. It's already written. It's already written. And we're just starting to access it, So, there's definitely awesome healers that can connect into this and they can access those Akashic records. I've never been able to kind of do that, but it is just super important that we're allowing all this stuff to clear right now. That's the other part of like equinox and spring is that, typically as human beings, as we head into the spring, we tend to do more of a cleanse, right? We shed off all that winter weight that we've probably put on because, we're not as active. We're maybe eating in our house more. And like on the, Chinese medicine thing, we don't, we eat more soups and stews and nourishing things in the winter. As we head into spring, we start to eat lighter and start to cleanse the body to be ready for the season. So that's kind of exactly what Equinox is doing for us right now. All right, one more card on the Equinox here. Actually, maybe two. Okay, this is the Sacred Earth, and I just wanted to do a card for Earth. Okay, so yeah, it's a beautiful card. Oops. The word is moderation. Beautiful hummingbirds on there. Why can't I get this? There we go. And just, a look of kind of like, it's interesting because it's kind of the look of like just waking up, but not quite fully. Like, that moment in the morning, depending on if you have that few moments to lay around and not be rushed, but you're just like, you're kind of in and out of sleep, but so you're not groggy, but you kind of are. It's just what's happening right now. We're coming into this new energy, and it's just, you allow yourself to slowly wake up. Don't jump out of bed and hit the ground running. I this morning I was like, I woke up at 7 and then I crashed really hard till and dreamt crazy dreams till 8, and I couldn't wake myself up this morning. But there was also a lot of there was a couple flares in the middle of the night. Woo! There's 2 came out there. Anyway, there was a lot of solar winds as well last night. So those I always find make us a little sleepier and tired. Okay. So I also, for this equinox, wanted to do the hidden realms. We'll investigate this deck again during the moon and the eclipse. Spiral Dancer comes up first. Circuitous Route, Perception. For me, this is always this is life. It's this ascension. But we're going up, right? So don't panic. But it just realize it's a process, and we just keep going, and in a good way. So just allow the dance of life, right? Okay, we also got the Hawk Prince, Spirit Communications and Paying Attention. Yeah, that's what I was just saying about this equinox. Really start to listen. If you just are whether you're in that dream state, or just, sorry, I have ear seeds in for acupuncture in there. If things come up like that, I might go look at what this part of my left ear means. But it's almost like pay attention to everything, which sounds completely crazy. But if a word or a song or a phrase pops into your head, look it up, go do gematria on it, whatever you want to do, but investigate it. Look at be the student this week coming up before this eclipse, and really do some deep dives into stuff, but maybe not down the rabbit holes necessarily, but into things you didn't know about. Spirit is giving us lots of messages. That's all I'm hearing over and over and over again. We also got the Well Watcher, which is wisdom and power of the divine. Wisdom, right? Learning, just really, I don't know, expand into your wisdom this week. It's all within us, right? We also hold the full Akashic records within us for our lives, past lives, etc., etc. But we know everything else. So it's take this time, and it's almost like you're in your last, I never did go to university, but you're in that last little phase of your education where you're maybe writing your dissertation or something like that. And you're not maybe doing a lot of exams and things like that, but a couple here and there. But you're really focused on this dissertation and writing the story. So usually when you're doing that stuff, it's a hell of a lot of research. That's all I remember from friends doing it. So yeah, let's research. Have some fun with it. The trick right now too is that there's a lot our in our space and time that is true and is not true. So we have to discern between that too. So just yeah, I think this time is about like broadening and expanding our knowledge and understanding that we're all part of this great big thing that's happening. So let's learn as much as we can about it before it starts. And so because that's coming up with the equinox right before this eclipse corridor starts, it's really kind of saying to us like, this is your best way to fortify yourself right now, is to learn some new things, even though you may think you know it all already. Anyway, okay, what I want to do now is I'm going to just do one of each of these cards that I have out in front of me. And what we're going to do with that is I'm just going to have it as the read for the week. Just sorry, putting them in an order I want to do them. Basically, let's see what this next. We're already at Thursday in this week, so looking at these next couple days leading up to the eclipse on Monday, which I will come and do a specific video for, and probably do it just like this. We'll do the typical moon read, and then we'll get into the week read at that point and just do it all in one video. I don't know. Hopefully I won't try to also not make them too long. First, I'm going to use this I just want to have one overall card for what the week is about. Funny. It's the moon. Yeah, it's all about the moon this next coming up. It is the lunar eclipse on Monday. I use my intuition and intelligence to guide me at all times. Yeah, so that's the theme of this week, is using our intuition and our intelligence for these next few days and through the eclipse corridor. So if there's anything that we can do is like gain as much knowledge as we can, like read as many books as you can over this weekend or research topics. The other thing that the intuition part is they're saying is like the most important part. Like I said, we got I don't remember where it was, the spirit helper, the hawk prince is spirit communication, paying attention. We are being guided constantly right now, and it's coming through fast and easy because of this energy in the corridor and the portal that is open. So that is, they're saying, is our biggest goal for this week. Okay. Yeah. Intuition and intellect. So great. Anyway, okay. Can't make this stuff up, right? All right. What other information do we need going through these next couple days towards the eclipse corridor? First up, quieting the mind. Yeah, that's part of this thing too, is like that's that rest and retreat part, or retreat to recharge, is that there's, again, the distraction is like turned up to 11 right now. Like you could get lost in, I mean, I do sometimes, like that's totally fine if you spend like half a night or half a day, like going deep into the stories, because honestly, they're hilarious. Like, oh my gosh, if you told me one of these stories like 10 years ago, I would have laughed at you. Excuse my French, but I would have been like, you might need some help. And now I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe the stuff they try to pull, and like that we are expected to like put our full belief in. And then my heart breaks because there's people that fully believe in it. And I just want to like, I don't even want to, you don't want to shake somebody awake, but I want to hug them because they're having the worst dream of their life. Anyway, let's not go there. But again, we worry about ourselves this next 2 to 4 weeks coming up. Quiet the mind, find the time, turn it all off, even the books, like even like the deep dives into like whatever you're deep diving into, Tataria, whatever. I'm just going to throw out words, and if you want to research them, you can. But even that, shutting that off sometimes and being in silence with yourself, because the big thing is that when there's so much distraction, we don't hear from our guides. Like, it's not that they're not giving us messages and stuff, but they're trying to communicate, but we're just too distracted to hear what they're trying to tell us. So make sure you're quieting the mind and listening to for the intuitive information coming in, and not distracting ourselves too much all the time. All right, what else do we need to know for this week? Getting prepared. This is kind of like, this is the prep course for your SAT or your exam or whatever. We also got Commander Ashtar. Interesting. Leadership activation. Time to evolve. Trust in your ability to guide others. Interesting. I know a lot of people are just like feeling like they're just at the beginning of their journey. I actually feel for you guys right now, because those who are at the beginning of this stuff is coming at you so fast, and hard, that it's like, I've had I didn't really get into, like, I've always had spirituality. I've always read cards. I've always uh, used my intuition throughout my life since my 20s, or even earlier when I was a kid. But I didn't really come into everything that's happening right now until about 2016, 2017. So I've had a good number of years to integrate a lot of information and stuff. For you, that some of you are just getting into this and it's coming at you fast and hard. So, it's like, I think a lot of you are still will be in that boat where you're like, I can't lead anybody else because I just am learning this myself. But I think you have been given the crash course for a reason. So I know it's hard sometimes, and we doubt our abilities and what we're seeing and what we're feeling. But the reason it's happening so fast is because there is a monumental shift coming, and we need you. We need your services. You wouldn't have been tapped awake if you weren't ready for it. And you're never given more than you can handle, although sometimes it definitely feels like it. So, but what I'm trying to really integrate here, or integrate, not integrate, you will need to integrate this, but is that you're here, you're awake, you're aware, you're doing enough. Keep doing the work. Don't give up. Start to find some way to believe in yourself, because we need you. Yeah, and we need you. You're about to be called upon to lead, and what was the other word in there? And guide others. So just that's also the point of, like, this. We're all at graduation together in a couple months. Then we've got to go out into the workforce, the spiritual workforce. It's coming. So yeah. And it doesn't matter if you graduated at the top of your class or not. We need boots on the ground for this shift. So yeah. Okay. I feel like I'm going to do 3 of these. I was trying to keep this short, but I'm also not worried about it too. Okay. Yeah. I'm just picking an order here. Okay. This is on the level of the physicality, the things we need to do. Number 1, we got, I'm going to do this. Obsidian. You may want to go grab some obsidian. It's a grounding stone. Grounding, shielding, the void. Yeah, we still need this degree of, like, not floating off into space when we're doing our things. Like, we still want to make sure we're grounded and protected, because the powers that were, there's still lots of little minions flying around trying to pull crap. They pulled it on me on Monday. I was like fully in the depression, and I was like, damn it, they got me. And it took me a whole day to come out of, but I just did some mantra work. I did some meditation. I did some smudging. And I actually worked with some crystals, not obsidian, but yeah, just make sure we're still doing our due diligence of protecting ourselves from that lower energy. Again, I call them minions, because they're just like little and kind of annoying. Now you know my opinion of the Minions movie. Anyway, I shouldn't say that. It's terrible. But anyway, they're just kind of, their energy is low, but it's annoying. And it's like a mosquito in your room at night when you're trying to sleep. It's like you just want to smash that thing. So just smash that thing. Stay grounded, stay shielded, keep working on that stuff. We also got food, nourishment, relationships, health. Make sure you're paying attention to all of those things on the physical level. Again, like just the basics, eating and drinking as cleanly and as properly as we can, trying to avoid like the lower energy stuff that like makes us not feel good about ourselves. I think that's what I did and trapped myself on Monday. Health, whatever that is, exercise, get out in the weather and, you know, whatever, just be taking care of yourselves. The relationships one is interesting because the other part of it that factors in about this eclipse is it is generally known eclipses as, and this one in particular, we'll cover it when we get into it on Monday, but abrupt endings. And this for sure is about, it's also, there's a planetary alignment that's also factoring into this. And I can't remember what it is, but we won't worry about it. Except that, do understand, relationship-wise, do your checks and balances for yourself. If there's stuff, if there's people or whatever no longer serving you, you will do best through this next little while to end those relationships. I'm just going to leave it there. They're not serving you. It doesn't mean that you can't put a pin in it. Put a pin in it. We're on a break. That's so funny. Just leave it for now because the energy is going to shift. And if you have low energy hanging on to you, they are going to try to bring you down. They do not want this shift to happen. They do not want this light to come in, but it can't be stopped. So do your best to, if you can't end in a relationship, do your best to like just temporarily turn it off and put it aside. We'll deal with it later, or we won't even, we'll see what the energy is like after. We also got blue, which is, this is the throat chakra, communication and inner truth. This one I think is less about us. I mean, we want to, yeah, if part of our ability to help others is to be able to speak our inner truth. The thing is, though, and be cautious of this, is don't go spouting your inner truth unless you've really, you're authentically connected to it and you know exactly what it is. Because if you start spouting, then, and you're not like authentic, it's not going to come across as true or believable or any of that. Make sure you know yourself before you start helping others. So that's definitely the energy of this week, is tying up those loose ends of like what is no longer serving us. Here's the thing with eclipses, if we hit that Monday energy and there's stuff that isn't serving us and baggage that we're carrying around, abrupt endings. I'm just going to say it. Again, it comes down to, how do you want to go through this? Do you want to go through it the hard way or the easy way? Make sure everything is aligned within your inner circle, and that you've done the work and you know what you really at heart center is your inner truth. And yeah, and start to cut out this weekend things that aren't working for you, because if you leave them there, you could have like abrupt endings on, you know, during the 2-week eclipse corridor. Let's go through this the easy way, not the hard way. It's just the thing we want to do. All right, I am going to draw 3 from this Christ consciousness deck, and then we'll just do one of the, we'll see. I mean, it's pretty easy what our job is this week. Yeah, woo, okay. Okay, so first up is how we get through this week. Oh, why can't it? Grace, which is blessings and goodwill. So this is coming through as two things, because we also got another intuition card. So being in a state of grace and ease is how they want us going through this. So as much as we are going to be like removing things that are no longer serving us, it's that we also need to come at it from a space of ease and grace. Grace is just meaning, it's almost like the non-duality thing. We're just completely able to be in that state where it doesn't really phase us, and we just offer everything love regardless of what comes at us. We wish it love, we wish it peace, and we don't take it on, right? We don't beat ourselves up for things. We just move through it with grace and ease. That might just be something, if that's resonating with you, or you're not sure about it, is that you just might want to do a little add that into your dissertation research. What is grace? What does it mean to be in the state of grace? All right. We also got the Magi, which is signs and divine timing. All right, there's that star, right? Okay, so they're just reiterating to us, if we can quiet our mind and really listen and ask them for the signs, they are being presented quite a lot. So yeah, just really grace, intuition, listening, understanding that it's divine timing that's happening. And then we've got new vintage, which is be open-minded. This is the thing too, is like that is blowing me away this week, is that I am like learning things that I didn't even know, like all of my life. And I'm like, oh, okay, like holy crap, that's not how I thought it was. That there's going to be a lot of that in this reveal coming up, right? And that's the thing about this, Pluto's in Aquarius, and we're heading into this eclipse, and more is going to be revealed. The veils are being pulled off. So we really just need to be open-minded. And then that's when our education in discernment comes in, because we are the ones that have to go, this is for me, that's not for me. This is part of my mission. That probably is being handled by somebody else, so I don't need to worry about it. And then funny, we got this card, which is the teacher, walk the talk. This is the throat chakra that just came up. Again, it's like, make sure you are not just out there re-spouting out somebody else's rhetoric, because it could be rhetoric. You don't know that. Make sure you're doing your due diligence and discerning everything, and making sure it resonates with you before you pop it out your mouth like to other people, because you might not. This is the thing that has always bothered me about the human race, like from the beginning of my time on this planet, is we think we know everything, and the truth is we don't know nothing. Nothing. Even like when I do this and I make predictions, sort of, I guess, if you want to call them that. I don't know that I'm right. Things change, timelines shift, everything, so you can't follow one person as a guru and believe every freaking thing they say, because they don't know either. There's not a person on this planet that right now, there's so many people out there going, I know this is going to happen, and this is what's going to happen. And it's like bullshit. I call bullshit on every single one. It doesn't matter if you're good or evil. You're all bullshit. You don't know. None of us know what's about to happen. We have an inkling. We have a pretty good sense, but we don't know. So stop putting down other people because you think they're spewing wrong information. It just means that information isn't for you. So leave it alone. Go back in, quiet the mind, live in a state of grace, give out peace and love to everybody, and then do the work for yourself. This is about you. It isn't about anyone else. In your family, in this world, if you're not right and we're not walking the talk, then we are not a good teacher. We are not a good teacher. We are a terrible example to follow. It is about us doing the work for ourselves, right? Bottom line, can't say it any other way. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I have ideas and I have intuition and I have speculation. I don't know. Nobody knows. Some people might have be a little more privy to some information, but nobody really knows. So take everything with a grain of salt, but do your due diligence this week and still be working on your discernment and your, just walking your talk. The teacher too. The teacher card is really important because what else has come up in the cards this week? It's the Commander Ashtar card. Be ready to guide others. Like your calling is coming. Like we're just, we're giving you some advance notice. That part is true. That part is happening. Okay. Do I want to do 3 of these? Okay. Whoop. Okay. Which one? Okay. We're going to read these as they came out. Grief. Tears are what happen when the ice in the heart melts. Okay. Yeah. This doesn't mean you need to address grief and do the dark night of the soul again, but make sure that you've melted that ice in the heart, right? We all have something. There's something. So shed the tears, get it out. Let this eclipse the emotion of it. We need to stop hanging on to that stuff, right? We also got delusion, which is intention without surrender can be a fast path to delusion. This is that what I just said is be really careful about about taking other people's intentions to heart. Make sure you know yours. What do you want to see? What do you want to feel? Right? Instead of because what's the word on there? Without surrender. Surrender to me is that moment of non-duality where we're not judging anything, and we're listening to ourselves. But we're also just surrendering to the process that's happening and not try to micromanage the universe. And we're watching for those signs and symbols, and we're acting on those for ourselves. So, yeah, lots of, just surrender to the process. Stop trying to fight it. Stop trying to change it. We don't need to do any of that. All right. Guidance has come up once again. When you make divine intelligence your foundation, that's our school, divine intelligence, you finally have a fixed star to follow. It's a great way to end this, except we got one more card. So, yeah. It's the surrender. Let this process unfold. Stop trying to fix and change and do and be. We're here to observe at this point, and to learn. So just keep those things at the forefront this weekend. The last card we got is divine love. When you offer everything, there's that word again, surrender, offer, to the divine with detachment, you begin a love affair with spirit. I'm just going to leave it there because that's the perfect ending. Is if there's a mantra for this weekend, when you offer everything to the divine with detachment, you begin a love affair with spirit. I don't think I could say it any better than that. So we'll leave that as our mantra to take through this weekend with us. I hope you have a brilliant coming up couple of days. I will see you on Monday. We'll go through the eclipse. We'll go through this eclipse corridor together. It might mean that what I do is a few more videos as we go through it, but definitely for the lunar eclipse Monday night, I'll have a video up, and then we'll just see what transpires as we go through that. All right. Take good care of yourselves above and beyond everything. Love yourself. love the divine, and let it flow through you. Take care. I love you guys.